What's a strange but true fact about the human body? The acid in your stomach could burn your skin. I always thought that was pretty interesting and reminds me of the scene in Alien where the alien blood burns everything, which is why vomit feels so boiling hot and why your throat is extra sore afterwards and why bulimics are at high risk of esophageal tears and cancers of the throat and why acid reflux sucks. Your intestines are in near constant motion, wiggling like a worm. Yeah, doctors just stuff them back in and let them sort themselves out. I've heard this, but always thought like, what if something gets knotted up? We know what everything would feel like on our tongues without even licking it. I've read this before, and it blew my mind looking around at everything and realizing how weirdly, fascinatingly true it is. I'm assuming it's a combination of textures from your fingers and that stage of infancy when babies put everything in their mouths. Oh god. I just looked at a knife and now my tongue hurts. I looked at carpet and I could taste it too. Humans can outrun almost every animal on long distance. Sweat is an op advantage. Can't believe the devs are allowing them to keep it while they are already extremely op. Most don't utilize it to full potential anyway. The only way to reduce human dominance is to nerf the intelligence stat. But that would make in builds worthless and make a lot of players very angry. Yay. But it's especially unfair because they can all work together. So you have full int, full strength, and everything together. Makes the human class fire to op. Imo. The acid in your stomach could do damage to your teeth. That's why when you're about to throw up your mouth is getting full with saliva, so it protects your teeth. The practical value of knowing this is you now know to run for the toilet when your mouth fills with saliva if you're feeling nauseated OBV. When pregnant, if a mother suffers a heart attack or other large physiological issue, the fetus will release a swarm of stem cells that move to the affected area, greatly helping in survival and healing. Care package inbound. You need to have a 7 kill streak. 7 kills for a care package. No. 7 kills for a Harrier. Our immune system is so strong it can kill our own body cells. So technically we do have a self-destruct sequence. Our cells have a self-destruct sequence also. If things start getting weird, your mitochondria send a signal to the brain, which sends a signal to the cell's lysosomes which then burst open and destroy the cell. It's called apoptosis, or programmed cell death. I think I remember a video using that to explain cancer cells. One of the features of these cells is that aside from a mutation that causes them to multiply out of control, they also have the function that self-destruct switched off. They decide not to kill themselves and rebel against their programming. Cancer cells are Agent Smiths. We have the same number of bones in our neck as a giraffe. We just haven't unlocked our full potential. Giraffes' neck vertebrae are just really big. And, unsurprisingly, they always have high blood pressure. No theme parks for you, giraffes. Until the age of like 2-ish babies don't have real kneecaps. They are made of a squishy cartilage type thing. That explains why they can crawl painlessly. I'm a carpenter and on my knees a lot, so I feel nothing but pain there, especially when it rains. Higher babies equals problem solved. Well, they are good at hitting things. If our hearing were better, we'd constantly hear each other's insides. So animals with insane hearing capabilities can hear my guts preparing a deluxe fart. We all can. S. That the brain operates on the same amount of power as a 10-watt light bulb. You have met people right. 10 watts may be a little high up on the bar. Yeah. I would say more of a small red LED in some cases. Woefully faded by age into a dim whisper. When a baby is born, its teeth are right under its eyes. Do yourself a favor and look at a dental x-ray of a child under the age of 6. It is very freaky. Nightmare stuff. No wonder there's an abnormally high suicide rate among dentists. So that's what happens to the 10th dentist. Your thigh bone is harder than concrete, but your jawbone is the strongest bone in your body. Hence, I can break concrete with my teeth. I don't know about your teeth holding up to chewing concrete, but I've read the only thing between you and crushing your own teeth with your bite force is the pain response. Too late. I now have 2 teeth under my pillow. Sorry, but hey. 50 cents is 50 cents. It's possible for your bowel movements to go backwards, causing you to poop from your mouth. Yep, I had a couple obstructions as a kid and had that happen twice. It was just as indescribably awful as it sounds. Hey, how do I delete someone else's comment? How to uneat something? Can you wash a brain? Because that's what I want to do right now with mine. Human breast milk adapts its nutritious content to fit the need of the offspring. Baby lacks iron. Next dose of milk will contain more iron. It's amazing. How does that work? Like, how does the body of the mother know what the baby needs? Or is it more of the ingredients of milk change over time? As the baby goes through different stages of grow, there's some evidence to say breast milk changes composition based on day/night cycles. And based on a baby's suckling pattern, the fat/water composition may change. For instance, a baby may feed more on a hot day, and this will usually be milk with a higher water content. Or a baby with a cold may trigger the mother to pass on more antibodies. Usually her proximity to the baby means she'll just be making the antibodies as normal, even if she is asymptomatic. But measuring micronutrient content in breast milk is a difficult proposition due to the complexities of sampling quite a unique substance. There is certainly a changes breast milk over a longer time period as you suggest thought. Colostrum. First milk is different to mature milk and changes as a baby gets older. This is the coolest thing I've heard on Reddit in a while, even if it's random. Besides the genitalia, there are several parts in your body that can go through processes that can be classified as an erection. I might regret asking, but could you give examples? Goosebumps are called pillow erection. Guys, how can I stop myself getting skin boners in class? Tofu by getting a giant skin erection during a class presentation. If you tickle just above your butt crack while you're peeing, it makes you pee more. There's an explanation for this. It's called the inner genital reflex. Many baby animals, puppies, kittens, squirrels, etc., rely on a parent stimulating the newborn's genitals, typically by licking, since they can't pee on their own yet. Orphaned animals in the care of humans require stimulation of the genitals with a warm wet Q-tip or something to get the job done. A vestige of this reflex exists in humans, although thank God we don't have to lick human babies' butts to get them to eliminate. Due to pregnant women, the average human body contains more than one skeleton. Your eyes can only move slowly if you're tracking an object, otherwise they just twitch into place. Thank you for making me look up and down my wall trying to test this. If you were to stretch out the entire surface area of your lungs, they would cover a tennis court. I found this out because I was searching Google for the typical size of a tennis court, and one of the suggested searches was something like, "Are your lungs as big as a tennis court?" And I was extremely confused for a moment. You can determine the sex of a skeleton by looking at the pelvis and seeing if the pelvis looks like a Mickey Mouse head, female, or a reindeer head, male. It's funny, but it works surprisingly well in some cases. It doesn't always work 100% for prepubescent skeletons and pelvises that have in-between markers, but it's still a fun trick. Started observing the skeleton in biology room to determine, so got called out for daydreaming. The hyoid bone, anchor of the tongue, connects to no other bone, just a lonely old bone, living in a lonely world. The P and C develop from the same tissue, the cletus, the slack-jawed yokel. There's enough iron in your blood to make a 3-inch nail, according to JoJo Part 5 Risotto Nero vs Doppio. This fact is false. Press the tip of your thumb against the tip of your pinky finger. Curl your hand toward yourself. My instructor showed us this one slow day in one of my ANAT/phys labs. She said she usually shows every class that and used to keep track of how many were missing them and on which hands, and said in her experience it seemed to be more along the lines of 20-30% missing at least one. She said people usually went home and checked their friends and family, and those missing both usually had at least one parent also missing both. But those missing one having a parent also missing one didn't seem to be as common. Of course that was all anecdotal and back of the envelope math with no follow up. Some days are just slow. and it's fun to get people interested in their own bodies, if only for a few minutes. I'm missing the right one. I can see where it should be, but it's not there, and I can barely see the left one. My wrists and hands are dinky as hell. So while I'm still overweight, it's not a fat hands issue, and my mother is missing the left. My father was missing both. I've never asked my half siblings, but I should, just out of curiosity. Close bracket. Babies before the age of 6 months can hang and hold on to something for longer than 30 minutes with one arm, more than what an average adult can do now. It is probably their cause many infant primates hold their mothers when they are jumping tree to tree. Yep, evolution leftover. Your fingers are operated via a pulley system, which is why they break so fucking easily. A lot of taste is influenced by smell, hence why when you've got a cold that messes with your sense of smell. The taste of most things feels off. That was actually the first symptom of COVID my father noticed. For some reason he didn't notice his sense of smell becoming weaker, but he did notice a change in his sense of taste. Specifically, he said beer just didn't taste right. His wife prodded him to get tested, and he was positive. The other symptoms didn't start for a few days after that. That was the worst part of getting it. My wife and I had mild symptoms, but the 2 weeks of eating cardboard were so fucking boring. Still, we're thankful to be alive. There's a cool way to ease the pain of headaches immediately. If the pain is on the left side of your head, you need to pinch hard between the thumb and pointer finger of your right hand, and the other way around. Only real problems with this is that it kinda hurts your hand, and once you stop doing it the pain of the headache comes back. Also, don't do this if you're pregnant, because it can induce labor. Either I am fooling myself or this actually works.